If you're watching this on Christmas Day, maybe you've noticed something that's been difficult and nagging all day. Is it that Christmas hasn't actually lifted your child's difficulties when you're hoping it might? Obviously, presents are around, family are around, and the special day is happening. But for some children, it means they can remain anxious. Maybe they're quite reactive, tearful, shut down, or on edge. Truthfully, they're probably exhausted. Often, these moments can land as a bit of a reality check for parents. Of course, we're invested as a parent in our child being okay and wanting to have the best time that they can. And of course, you don't want them to struggle, particularly through a festive period when you've noticed a pattern growing over the previous half term or even longer. Sometimes our own misunderstandings and misbeliefs can keep us feeling stuck on a day like today. Maybe you've been thinking that it's just Christmas stress and it will disappear in January. Maybe that's true, but if it's been around for a while, like any good new year, it doesn't necessarily wipe the slate clean, even though we might hope so. We might be thinking if we just get through today, then everything will settle down. And I would wonder how many days you've been thinking about that as you've approached Christmas Day. Sometimes parents think, well, it's not actually that bad. Maybe it needs to get worse before we ask for help. But often in these moments, the longer these struggles persist, the harder they can become to change. And that's why finding support early can actually be really helpful. So, if today has highlighted something that feels a bit bigger than Christmas Day, here are three things to think about. Firstly, whatever has happened for you today with your child, it's information. It doesn't mean anything is set in stone or is really bad. A hard day doesn't mean things are worsening, but maybe it's showing that some support is needed because it's bigger than the day itself. Maybe it helps you to notice what sort of things are amplifying your child's difficulties. Maybe it's the change in routine. Feels like there's a lot of pressure. There's obviously can be a lot of noise and things can feel unpredictable. Secondly, you don't need a perfect explanation to reach out for support. You don't have to wait for things to feel like they're serious enough or that you have to prove that because you don't. If you're seeing anxiety, emotional outbursts, maybe you've already had some difficulties with school or your child's more withdrawn. Fundamentally, if you feel like it's having an impact on your wider family, that's definitely more than enough for you to be thinking about reaching out for extra guidance. Thirdly, the right support should help you have a clearer understanding of what you might do next. Often parents want some reassurance and a bit of clarity about what to do next and if it will help. They don't want vagueness. Therapy is notoriously difficult in that sense because it's very difficult to predict in a number of sessions exactly what outcomes you might get. Slightly different to going to the doctor for an arm pain in the arm or a virus or something. We can't always predict the course. However, good therapy is about helping you understand and have a framework for how you can see if it's working, checking on the goals that you have got, and also to help give you some guidance and reassurance about the next steps and for you to make a decision about whether that's for you. If you've been thinking about getting in touch with Cormac and James, maybe today is the nudge that you need to get in touch. Maybe you've seen enough. Maybe you do have the doubts or hopes that things might change. Many parents come to us wanting some reassurance, and we work really hard to provide a structured process where we can. We want it to be practical, and we want you to be collaborators with us, not therapy happening to you. We'll reduce the jargon and we don't give vague promises. We try and set out clear goals. At Cormac and James, we specialise with working with children under 11, teenagers, and supporting the family system around them for a wide range of difficulties. So you're not there carrying this alone. At each step, we want to work with you to provide clarity and collaboration. So an easy next step is you can DM us or you can email us. And please just ask us, how might we support your child whose age, whatever they are? We'll reply with clarity about what can happen next. We'll arrange a time to speak to you directly. And then from there, we'll try and think about how we can support you and what fits in with your family realistically. So then you can feel confident that this might be the right next step for you.